Okay, so good day, guys. So this is our first, right? First topic for finals. We have Enterobacteriaceae. So this comes in two parts. Okay, so I will be sending um, both lecture videos today. Okay, so review because on Wednesday, our first meeting, we will have a quiz on this, syempre. Okay, so um, study well. Okay, so review lang naman ito ng mga alam na natin. Okay, so general characteristics of Enterobacteriaceae, you are familiar with this already. So they are also known for short as enterics because they are uh, normal microbiota of our gastrointestinal tract, not only for humans but also for animals alike. Okay, so of course they're gram-negative bacilli, or sometimes they could be short but slightly long, okay, but medyo rounded, so Coccobacilli. Okay, so they are ubiquitous, meaning they can be found everywhere. Okay, so general characteristics are as follows. They are facultative anaerobe, non-spore forming. Syempre kasi dalawa lang naman yung grupo ng spore formers na meron, right? They are glucose fermenters, no? And they are cytochrome oxidase negative with the exception of Pleishomonas, because Pleishomonas is cytochrome oxidase positive. All reduce nitrates to nitrites, except of course these groups, no, Erwinia species, agglomerant species of Panthea, Photorhabdus, and Caenorhabdus. Okay. Now, again, most are motile, usually because they have Pterytricus flagella, except of course for a species of Tatomela, which is motile, but only has one flagellum, no, polar flagella. There are three groups known to be non-motile, like your sky, right? Shigella, Klebsiella, Yersinia. However, looking closely at that property, no? Si Klebsiella and Shigella are non-motile at 37 degrees and at room temperature. They are true non-motile talaga. Whereas si Yersinia may be non-motile at 37 degrees. Init na siguro kayo for its flagella. But it may be motile when cultured at room temperature. Ayan, no? So, at 37 degrees, non-motile sila tanan. Pero at room temperature, mamotile si Yersinia. Okay? So what else? Klebsiella and sometimes Enterobacter will produce mucoid colonies. So medyo ayan, no, dikit-dikit. And this is really true for Klebsiella. Tapos pink-pink pang colonies niyan pag Klebsiella. Sometimes Enterobacter may also produce the same colony types kasi nga 'di ba parang kambal to sila. Oo, triplet sila, kasama nila si E. coli. Pero meron din naman silang differentiation. Okay? Or differences rather. Okay, so all are catalase positive except of course for a group of Shigella species and Caenorhabdus. Okay, so of course your Enterobacteriaceae is commonly isolated in the clinical laboratory from a wide variety of samples, usually stool, no, or rectal swab. Okay, pero they are also isolated from other types of sample, and so they have been well studied at marami na tayong iba't ibang klase ng culture media na pwedeng gamitin to culture them. Like, no, your basic media, okay? Your Makonki, yan, EMB, di ba? Yun yung madalas na kasama natin pag nagko-culture tayo for gram-negative or for your Enterobacter. However, aside from your MAC and your EMB, you have your psilocybin deoxycholate, your hectonenteric, your Salmonella Shigella agar. Ayan, so pag-aralan, meron tayong mga listahan ng mga culture media na makikita sa Bailey and Scott. No, just read through them. You don't need really to memorize them, but if you have plenty of time, that would be really good if you could memorize them. Ayan, so sabi nga, read Appendix A. No, meron din kay Mahon. Ang dami niya dong nakalista na culture media. Okay? Now, serotyping or serogrouping is, of course, a very important tool to identify or help identify Enterobacteriaceae because these groups may come in a variety of serotypes. So daghan kay kita serotypes, it's not enough to simply just perform uh, culture, no? And biochem. Kasi by biochem, pag na-identify natin yung isang species, isang group na maraming serotype, edi you'll have to go an extra mile to identify. And one way of doing that is your serotyping. Of course, we don't need to get down into specifics because you're familiar with antigens, antibodies, the difference between the two antigenic variations. Alam niyo na dapat ito. Okay? So one of the common antigenic structures for enterics are the flagellar antigen or also known as the H antigen. Okay? So this is heat labile, ibig sabihin nun sensitive sa heat, madaling masira pag hindi tama ang temperature na naigamit natin for cultivation. All right? So this is used in serotyping between species of Salmonella and other motile bacteria. Siyempre, hindi ito pwedeng gamitin para sa mga non-motile, di ba? O, paano natin? Walang H antigen yung non-motile. Second, of course, lahat merong O antigen. Kasi the O antigen refers to the somatic antigen o yung sa katawan mismo. O kahit na ba walang flagella, pero may katawan naman. So, pwede nating gamitin ito talaga to identify enteric organisms. Ang siste, there are over 160 types of O antigen just for E. coli alone. Di ka malipong. O, di ba? Kadaghan. O, si Shigella has 4 serotypes, thank God. Okay, kay gamay lang. Whereas for Salmonella, meron siyang around 60. Marami-rami din. Okay? And then we have the K antigen. Okay, so the K antigen or the capsular antigen or the envelope antigen. So ito, hindi rin naman natin ito nakikita sa karamihan. Okay, so ito minsan kasi external itong si capsule, right? So para siyang coating. So if an organism has the K antigen, it may cover the O antigen. So, hindi na detect pag may capsule. Hindi na detect si O antigen pag may capsule. Okay? So, dapat ilalize muna yan. So, how to lyse? The organism, encapsulated organism is simply boiled for around 30 minutes to remove the capsule. And then, saka magpa-perform ng assay for identification or detection of the somatic antigen. Okay? So, si Kleb, si Salmonella, si E. coli, ito yung may mga K-antigen. Okay? For Salmonella, meron din tayong tinatawag na V-antigen or virulence antigen, which is technically the special K-antigen for Salmonella. Okay? So, example, ayan, o, di ba? So, yung somatic at saka yung uh, flagellar antigens ni E. coli. O, mo nang na O86, H25. O, di ba? So, daghan kayo. I'm not telling you to memorize this, ha? O, di ba? Wa na maskitso na tayo, ka humana to memorize aning tanan. Okay, just to show you how the identification would look like. Okay? So, another thing to look into when you're studying for enteric rather, is of course the route of infections. Siyempre, dahil these are major agents of the GIT, natural, ang pinaka-common na mode of transmission nito ay fecal-oral. However, fecal-oral route is dictated, transmissions via fecal-oral route is influenced, siyempre, by the sanitation, okay, yung quality of living sa particular area. So, kung impoverished yun, natural malamang kaakibat nun yung poor sanitation. Okay? And then, there are some cases where infections may be nosocomial, no? Dahil sa na-expose ka ng matagal sa isang environment na maraming masakitin. O yan, no? Like those patients that are hospitalized. So, nung pumasok, wala namang ganyang infection. Pero nung na-admit na sa ospital, dahil expose sa iba't ibang klase ng infectious agents, kaya ayun. Okay? So common types of infections caused by your enterics are UTI, no, specifically C. E. coli, gastroenteritis, and of course septicemia. Okay? Uh, Factors affecting virulence, no? So Virulence factors include their ability to adhere to host cells, their ability to colonize on body surfaces, their ability to release endotoxins, no? Their ability to invade deeper tissues, and of course, their ability to transfer plasmids carrying antibiotic resistance genes. Ayan, mahilig sa conjugation at kung ano-ano pang klase ng horizontal gene transfer itong ating enteric organisms. Okay? Now, enteric organisms is actually a very large group of bacteria. So, ato silang tungaon into two groups. We have the opportunistic pathogens and the primary pathogens. Ito ang two broad categories of our enteric organism. Okay, so let's start with the most common, si E. coli. Okay, so E. coli is of course our colon bacillus, hence the term coli or coli. Escherichia, of course, was taken from the name of the scientist who first described the bacteria, which is Theodore Escherick. Kaya Escherichia yan. Okay, so E. coli is a well-studied bacteria, really. It's also considered a primary marker for fecal contamination in water. No, madalas ito yung ginagamit. Okay? And then this is closely related to Klebsiella, Enterobacter, and it may also be closely related to Shigella in terms of DNA homology. Pero, madali siyang ma-differentiate through lactose fermentation kasi si E. coli is a very strong lactose fermenter, whereas si Shigella is a non-lactose fermenting bacteria. Okay? Ayan, ang cute, di ba? Kitang-kita ang kanyang pilay, yung kanyang flagella, yung mahahaba, syempre, yun yung flagella niya. At yung mga parang mukhang balahibo, yun yung kanyang pilay. O, kasama dyan yung common pilay at yung kanyang sex pilay na ginagamit for conjugation. And note that E. coli has all three common antigens, ha? Yung the O, H, and the K antigen. So, E. coli, general findings, it is able to ferment sugars like glucose, lactose, trehalose, and xylose. When indole is done, gaya nitong ating letter A, tube A, positive si indole because of the presence of the deep red ring. Huwag kalimutan na. So, ang positive ng ating indole is the presence of the deep red ring after adding, of course, our PDAB. And then it's also positive for methyl red, that's tube B. Okay. It is able to, it is not able rather to produce hydrogen sulfide. It does not create or produce DNase enzyme, urease enzyme, yung ating phenylalanine dehydrogenase, and yung citrate. Okay, ayan. So, yung letter D, that's citrate. Di ba? Dapat blue yun kung able to use citrate as a sole source of carbon. Pero kay green mangyapon, so negative siya. Okay. Now, there are five very important strains of E. coli. Okay, so let's start with ETEC, CETEC, or the enterotoxigenic E. coli. So, this is associated with diarrhea of the infants, usually yung mga during traveling. Okay? So sa adults, ganun din naman. Okay? So it causes the traveler's diarrhea or tourist diarrhea or also known as Montezuma's revenge. Kaya undang imuhang pagpupo. Okay? So mode of transmission is ingestion of contaminated food and water. Ayan, gaya niyan, di ba? So major contributing factors, buti na lang. I think may mga cases pa rin tayong ganito ng mga bata. Oo. So, poor hygiene, kung mo nang kinahanglan bantayan. So, usahay nga na ano, magdula, way panty, bataan ni bisag asa na lang, maggunit sa yuta, magwaswas sa kanal. Hey, no? And then what else? Reduce availability of sources of potable water. So, sa ato diri wala man kaayutay nga ng problema. Usahay mawala ang tubig, pero maabot maghapon jud, no? But there are countries where higahos talaga pag dumating sa tubig. Mas daghan pag-cook kaysa sa tubig. Okay? And of course, inadequate sanitation where uh, malibang bisag asa, no? Wala sila water closet or inodoro. Okay? So, uh, the infective dose for immunocompetent, no? Yung mga normal individuals. Okay? Is about 10 to the 6th or 10 to the 10th organism. Yan. So, this becomes less if the patient is immune compromised. So, kung immune compromised, gamay pa ani. Okay? Now, note that stomach acidity o yung hydrochloric acid natin sa ating tiyan serve as a very protective agent or it's a protective mechanism against uh, E. coli growing or colonizing dun sa ating GIT. Okay? Pero may mga pasyente tayong merong condition known as achlorhydria. Okay? Or merong less production of hydrochloric acid. So they are more prone to acquiring infections caused by E. coli. Yan. And then we have pathophysiology no ng ETEC. So ETEC is able to colonize small intestines because of their ability to survive the area dahil na rin sa kanilang ability to release toxins. So there are two types of toxins that are released in the small intestine. We have the heat labile toxin or simply the LT toxin, which is similar to the cholera toxin. Itong cholera toxin naman ay talagang matapang-tapang. Okay? So ito murag no mura siya og katong cholera toxin. So it's known as the LT toxin. It has two portions, the A and a B, no, which is the active and the binding portion. And then meron din siya nung heat stable toxin. Ayan. So looking closely here, so yung kanyang heat labile toxin, eto yun, yung nasa taas. Meron siyang two parts, right? It has around four, no? Na four or five na B units. Okay? And then meron siyang isang ah dalawa rather, isang A subunit. So, ayan nasa taas. Tapos limang B subunit. Okay? Tingnan natin. Ayan. So, si LT, again, si heat labile, may A and B, right? So, isang active subunit or A subunit and meron siyang limang subunit, no, na B. Okay? So, yung binding. So, ayan. So, didikit on the villi. Pagkadikit, that would allow the uh, toxin to be absorbed into the microvilli. Okay? So pagdating sa loob, no, it will be engulfed by the Golgi apparatus where the A subunit, kasi di ba na-serve na ni B subunit yung kanyang na-serve na ni B subunit yung kanyang function, pang binding, di ba? So ang natitira na lang ngayon is yung function ni A subunit. Okay? So, si A subunit is once na makarating dun sa Golgi apparatus, makakawala siya. Eh, magsuloy-suloy dito sa sulod sa cell where it would attach to uh, tawag nito, it would attach to nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, no? And ADP ribose where, okay, oh, didikit siya dun sa mga uh, components, no, ng ating uh, GIT cells, no, activating adenylyl cyclase. Okay? Ayan. So, mm, di ba, magsuloy-suloy siya and then eventually it would come into contact with ayan yung mga Gs, okay? Membrane protein, okay, which regulates adenylyl cyclase or adenylate cyclase. Okay? This, in turn, okay, catalyzes the transformation of adenosine triphosphate into cyclic adenosine monophosphate or CAMP, no? Yung mga CAMP, which is, of course, alam na natin, no? Would lead to uh, removal, no, of water from within the cell and into the lumen. Okay, kasama na rin yung mga electrolytes. Kaya, basa ang tae, no? Kaya nigawas mo mga fluids padulong sa lumen where the formed stool is. So pag masaturate ang formed stool, inigawas ana, igit. Aw. Okay, so di ba? Basa ang tae. Okay? Hmm. Ayan. No? So, watery diarrhea. So again, for the labile toxin, may two parts, the subunit A and subunit 5 subunit Bs. To attach, syempre ma-activate si subunit B. Pag nakapasok, pupunta sa Golgi apparatus where subunit A is released, magsuri-suri siya, and then it would come into contact with membrane proteins known as Gs. Okay? And then these membrane proteins are actually responsible for transforming, okay, ATP into cyclic AMP. Okay? Ayong, so pag maraming cyclic AMP, it will trigger release of water and electrolytes into the lumen. Okay? Now, for heat stable, eto yun. So, si heat stable kani siya. Okay? So, it will simply bind to the transmembrane guanylate peptide cyclase receptor found on the surface. So, merong ano dyan, may guanylyl cyclase na receptor dyan. Okay, of course, pag nakabind na siya sa guanylate cyclase, that would trigger accumulation of your cyclic GMP. Okay, at alam naman natin na ang function ng cyclic GMP ay kapareho lang ng cyclic AMP, which is mailalabas yung water from inside the cell into the lumen. Maunang, watery gihapon ang diarrhea. Okay? And then, what else? Okay, so diagnosis, of course, watery diarrhea, abdominal cramps. Some may have nausea, no, but others medyo wala. Okay, but walang cramps, walang hilo-hilo, pero watery diarrhea. So, pa-check ang stool. Okay, so isolation of lactose fermenting organisms on the culture media, MAC, BAP, EMB, yeah, EMB and MAC rather, no, performed by chemical tests. And if you have PCR, you can do multiplex PCR. Ayan. Mm. So one of the characteristics of your E. coli is the presence of pink-colored colonies on McConkey, and then the greenish purple uh, colonies, no, or metallic sheen on EMB naman. However, note that, okay, si Citrobacter at saka si Enterobacter have species that may also produce, ay sorry po, nagulat naman tayong lahat. So again, dili lang yun just specific for E. coli kung na ay greenish metallic sheen. No, kay there are some species of Citrobacter or Enterobacter that can also produce greenish metallic sheen. Mo na siya. Okay? What else? E. coli. Another strain of E. coli is the EIEC or enteroinvasive E. coli. So this one is medyo mas nakakatakot than uh, ay yung traveler's diarrhea kanina. So this one is associated with dysentery-like infection. Dysentery is actually caused by Shigella. Okay? Pero itong si E. coli, meron siyang strain that may cause a similar infection but of a lesser severity compared to Shigella dysentery. Okay? So, pero ganun pa rin, merong watery diarrhea, bloody, no? Maraming leukocytes, maraming WBCs, tapos mucoidal. Alright? Common in children and adults. Again, person to person, fecal oral pa rin ang mode of transmission. So, may fever, may pananakit ng tiyan, aluya, syempre, watery diarrhea na merong blood. Okay? So, ang pathophysiology for our enteroinvasive or EIEC is that uh, yung ating bacteria has PLNV genes, which are plasmid-mediated bacterial invasion genes, which would allow the bacteria to attach doon sa surface ng ating GIT cells. Okay? So, this strain of E. coli, Lysis phagocytic vacuole, ayan. Kaya pwede siyang tumira sa loob ng cells, no? Kasi it would lyse phagocytic vacuole, yung kanyang phagosome bali. Okay? Pwede siyang kumawala dun sa phagosome. Okay? And then, it could move from one cell to the other without having to go out of the infected cell. Okay? So, yung cell-to-cell communication, naka-tune in kapag nandun si EIEC. So, madali makapasok. Basically, the effect of the EIEC inside the cell is that it could cause aggregation of or polymerization of actin filaments, which would serve as parang kanyang tawag nito, parang tumutulak. It would push the actin filaments that has aggregated or has polymerized, will serve as parang a factor that would push the bacteria into the next cell, like this one. That's the actin tail, no? Para siyang magnet. Yung puwet ni EIEC parang magnet sa actin. So, didikit sila doon hanggang sa ipupush nila sa kabilang cell ang EIEC. Okay? So one of the signs no na pwede natin gawin to check for the virulence is the Serenity test. Okay, yan. So ginagamit din naman ito for Shigella. Okay? So si Shigella flexneri 6, ayan, infected eye, ayan, parang nabubulag. So papatakan mo yung ah, emulsified colony yung mata. Okay? So kung merong ayan so nakikita mo yung isa normal, yung isa infected. Okay? So pag na-infect ang eyes ng rabbit, ayan. So, or guinea pig, pwede na naman, pero mostly they use rabbits. So pag nagkaroon ng conjunctivitis, it's positive for EIEC and also for Shigella. But again, to differentiate, we do fermentation test. Alright, so similarities ni EIEC with Shigella, both are gram-negative, facultative anaerobic, non-spore-forming, bacilli pa jud, non-motile, non-glucose fermenters. Okay? They are also mostly negative for lysine decarboxylation and cross reactions between O antigen is possible. Okay? Kasi nga halos pare-pareho sila. So, differentiation, ay, ano ba yan? Differentiation, mas mataas ang infective dose ni EIEC. Okay? So, kailangan ng about 10 to the 6 para mag-manifest yung infection. Subalit, okay, ngunit datapwat. Kay Shigella, gamay lang. Okay? You only need a few organisms ingested for the infection to manifest. Okay? So, mas isog yun ang Shigella. Okay. Also, you can do acetate or mucate utilization as carbon source. Positive si EIEC at negative naman si Shigella. Next, we have the EPEC. So, pangatlo na to, right? Pangatlong strain ni E. coli. So, we have the EPEC or EPEC. It's a non-toxigenic, non-invasive strain that causes diarrhea. No toxin. Okay? Non-invasive. But look, okay? It can cause infant diarrhea, especially in impoverished country. Mas sulod ba ta diri? No, I guess. And then it would cause watery diarrhea, large amounts of mucus, pero walang blood. Okay? So, pathophysiology of EPIC. So, ang iyang main virulence factor for causing infection is the presence of the bundle-forming pili. Ayan, ito yung bundle-forming pili which allows the organism to colonize and to stick on the surfaces of our GIT cells. Ayan, di ba? So, ito yung bundle-forming pili. Pag didikit-dikitin niya yung mga uh, bacilli, and then magkakaroon ng transfer of proteins from the bacteria onto the surface of the cell para ma-facilitate yung tawag nito yung pag-utilize no ng bacteria dun sa cells. Okay? So again, bundle forming pilay ang pambato nitong si EPEC. Okay? Si ETEC, meron siya nung tawag nito, meron siya nung LTNST, right? And then si ano naman, si AIEC is invasive. Okay? Etong si EPEC, non-invasive but look, no, meron siyang kanyang virulence factor, which is again the bundle forming pilay. Okay? Now, once the bundle forming pilay has been utilized, no, sunod-sunod na ngayon yung labas ng virulence factors ng ating EPEC. Okay? So, kagaya ng intimin. So, intimin is it's a type of bacterial adhesin, no, na ginagamit again to attach the bacteria onto the GIT surfaces, and at the same time, the presence of the intimin will trigger the polymerization of actin filaments. Okay. So mainat-inat. Okay. And then they have the uh, Escherichia coli secreted protein F, which will cause loss of intestinal barrier, no, intestinal barrier function. And then, of course, nadidisrupt ang tight junction. So, mahingo-hingo na gaya nito, no? Hindi na dikit properly yung cells. Rather, nagkakaroon ng parang space, which makes it difficult for absorption and normal processes to occur. Ayan. Okay. So EPEC also is responsible for producing the pedestal. Okay? Pedestal formation. Ito yung pedestal formation. Ayan. This will cause um, effacement, and at the same time, uh, the rise in height, no, or increase in height ng one or two villi, no? And then on top of that, parang nakapatong yung mga bacteria. Mm-mm. And then we have enterohemorrhagic, so fourth one. This, of course, causes hemorrhagic diarrhea and, of course, colitis. Okay. So this is also a very, one of the believed to be the most fatal strain for E. coli. No? So it's known as the O157H7. It's associated with hemolytic uremic syndrome or HUS. No? So it's characterized by watery diarrhea, na nagiging bloody diarrhea after some time. Of course, this would come with pain, may abdominal cramps, may low-grade fever, pero may ibang mga pasyenteng wala namang fever. Okay? Stool will contain no leukocytes, which will differentiate it from yung bloody diarrhea ni Shigella o nung EIEC. Okay? So risk factors na nakuha, no, based on several studies that were done on HUS is the consumption of processed meats, undercooked hamburgers. Yan, no, hindi agad-agad yung parang, di ba? Buti na lang sa mga Pilipino, hindi tayo masyadong mahilig kumain ng mga hilaw. Kay kinahanglan luto, jod, no? So, undercooked hamburgers, yan, unpasteurized dairy products, apple cider, bean sprouts, spinach, yung mga gulay na kinakain na hindi na kailangan lutuin, ayan. No? So, dahil some have been found to be contaminated with animal droppings. O, yung apple, di ba? Ah, pag nahuhulog na, minsan ma-shoot dito sa tae sa mga animals, no? Kahit na nasa orchard yun, hindi naman nabablock yung entry ng animal. So, say, makasulod sila. So, niya matagak ang apple dito sa mga iti or tae. No? Tapos, diretso na lang na tawag niyan, pinaprocess, hindi siya hinuhugasan. So, ayan, makontaminate yung finished product. Okay? So, unsa pod ang gahum ni EHEC or ni EHEC. Okay? So, EHEC is able to produce two toxins, no? Verotoxin 1 and Verotoxin 2. So Verotoxin 1, no, it's a phage-coded toxin identical to Shiga toxin, which means nakukuha nila ito when they are undergo transduction, which is another type of horizontal gene transfer, 'di ba? So kanang ma-infect sila with viruses that carry other bacterial properties. Okay? Ayan. Okay? So, again, identical to Shiga toxin. Note that the true dysentery is produced by Shigella dysenteriae. And dysenteriae ni Shigella has a very powerful toxin. Okay? So, doon natin kino-compare yung power ng Verotoxin 1. Okay? So, mura daw siya katong Shiga toxin that causes dysentery by Shigella. Okay? Now, biologically, similar din ito, but immunologically different from both STX and uh, Siverotoxin 1, no? So, mura lang pareho. Pero, immunologically, they would create different reactions. Okay? What else? Wait lang. Ayan. So, mm, ayan. So, again, no? Ano siya? Meron siyang A, mura siya, tawag nito, meron siyang two parts pa rin, no? The A and the B subunit. Okay? So, ang B subunit, para makasulod sa intestinal cell, would need to bind to a specific glycolipid receptor known as the globotriaso globotriacetylamide ceramide. Okay? Parang nasobrahan ng letter. Okay? Parang dapat walang O or kulang ng S. Okay? Wait. Hanapin nga natin yan. TB3 receptor. Shigetoxin. Awesome, Ojude. So, triaosylceramide. Ang hirap, di ba? Globotriaosylceramide. Triaosylceramide. Ayun na, bahala na kayo dyan, guys. Triaosylceramide or GB3 na nga lang, di ba? So, this is also found on the surfaces of uh, this is also rather the receptor, no, kung asa mo pilit ang ato ang Shiga toxin. So it's not just this toxin, but also the Shiga toxin looks for GB3 para maka-attach. Okay? So parang shared receptor ng EHEC at saka ni Shiga toxin. Naintindihan niyo ba yun? Okay? So pareho lang ilahang receptor. Now the GB3, okay, para malinaw, ang GB3 mauna siyang receptor na naadiri sa atong mga microvilli. So mo na ipangitaon sa B subunit nung ah, Verotoxin 1 and yung Shigatoxin. Alright? So once na makadikit si B subunit sa GB3, dali na lang maka-access ang bacterial cell inside the cell. Okay? So once they are inside, no, they may replicate, no, they may reproduce inside, or similar to what you see in the illustration, they can actually cross the basement membrane. Kaya ni basement membrane naman or eto yung parang pagitan ng intestinal wall natin at saka ng blood vessel. So matabok na nila. Ayan. Okay? So once no na once na tawag nito, once na makapasok no, ma-activate si B subunit, si A subunit na pod ang ma-activate. So A subunit will be cleaved into two molecules, no? So may A1 and A2. A1 is very important because it is responsible for cessation of protein synthesis. This will actually kill your intestinal cell. Okay? So this will result in damage of intestinal cells leading to hemorrhagic diarrhea. Okay? Now, what happens next is that once no na ma-release sila into no the uh, blood vessels, okay? So 'di ba nakatabok sila no from the infected cell, they could cross the basement membrane and end up in our bloodstream. Okay, there, okay, pwede silang pwede silang mag-trigger ng aggregation of platelets. Okay? At once platelets aggregate, they may produce thrombi. Okay? Thrombi may either stick on the um, cell membranes or because of the pressure, pwedeng pwede magisi and then yung matanggal, pwede siyang mag-float. Okay? Hanggang sa makaabot sa mga small blood vessels, capillaries where it could block. Okay? The problem is if nakaabot siya dun sa kidneys natin where blood vessels are really, really fine, especially in our glomerulus. Okay? Ayan. So, the ST toxin will also bind to glomerular endothelium. So yung linings ng glomerulus natin. Okay? This will inactivate no, a very important factor, which is a metalloproteinase known as von Willebrand factor cleaving protease or the VWFCP. So once ma-disable itong metalloproteinase na ito, okay, multimers of von Willebrand factor will form and mag-initiate yan ng platelet activation. Okay? So once na ma-activate ang platelets, of course, unsay buhaton, similar to what it does in our circulating blood vessels or circulating blood rather, no? Magtibugol yang ato ang mga platelet, mag-aggregate, and pwedeng maghiwa-hiwalay yun. And may cause blockage in the very fine blood vessels. Nakuha. So, kunyari, di ba nag-uumpisa yun sa may, intestinal cells. Okay? So, si Verotoxin 1, may two parts, A and B. Si B again, si B subunit is responsible for attachment onto the cells and to secure access into the cell. So once makasulod, si A na pod karon ang ma-activate which would be cleaved into two parts, right? A1 and A2. Ang A1 is very important because it will uh, be responsible for stopping protein production sa cell. So, mamatay ato ang intestinal cells. So, once ma-weak ang linings ng cells, it will be easier for the bacteria to cross the membrane barrier. Okay? Or yung basement membrane. Makatabok sila into our blood vessels. So, once nakaabot sa blood vessels, maka-activate sila ng mga platelets, will cause thrombi and may cause blockages. Now, if some of the toxins reach your kidneys, dito, it would bind again to glomerular endothelium and will activate a possible metalloproteinase, no, known as the von Willebrand factor cleaving protease. Again, pag na-inactivate itong metalloproteinase na to, natitrigger yung platelet aggregation. At pag may platelet aggregation, kaya nang nangyari kanina, magkakaroon ng possible thrombi formation and blockage of those thrombi formed doon sa maninipis at maliliit na blood vessels. Kaya, pag may blockage, nasisira talaga ang glomerulus natin. Hence, the hemolytic uremic syndrome. Ayan. Anong meron, no? So, nababasag. Di ba kasi may thrombine nga, magisi man ang mga blood vessels kung mapugos because of pressure. Eh? Oh. So, minsan, tawag nito, yung mga blood, no, nade-deform din, nasisira. Kaya nagkakaroon ng microangiopathic hemolysis. Eh? What else? Merong severe thrombocytopenia. Syempre, dahil nag-aggregate na lahat ng platelets mo, wala na tayong na-measure na thrombocytes. Eh, wala na yung ma-measure pag nag-blood smear, nag-CBC, why ma-count? Kaya nga no asa ni Adto, nag-aggregate na. No? Or kung meron mang ma-count, very small. Okay? So, kaya nagkakaroon ng kidney failure. Okay? So, the triad symptoms for HUS is again thrombocytopenia, merong microangiopathic hemolytic anemia, so umiihi ng parang madugo or bloody, no? And then may kidney failure. Okay? So, what do we do? Again, stool culture, serotyping. We can use, tawag nito yung enhanced or modified MAC. So, sa modified MAC, instead of lactose, we use sorbitol. Okay? Kasi, si itong ating, tawag nito, 0157H7, ayan. No? Oh, ito yung kanyang resulta. Hmm. And again, you can do, so aside from MAC with sorbitol, you can do the MUG test. Okay? So sa MUG test or the 4-methyl beta-D-glucuronide test, the end result again is the blue fluorescence. Eto. Pag walang blue fluorescence, pag white lang, edi negative. Dapat blue, ganyan. Okay? And then last is the enteroaggregative E. coli. So this one is associated with persistent watery diarrhea in infants, especially in developing countries. So pasok si Pilipinas. Associated with chronic diarrhea and growth retardation in children. Okay? Uh, Meron sila nung characteristic na auto-agglutination. Etong ating aggregative, yun yung kanyang, kaya naman aggregative ang description because of their ability to aggregate, forming that stack brick arrangement. Ayan, no, parang pinagpatong-patong sila, no? Oh, madikit. Okay, meron sila nung capacity to produce biofilms. Iyan ang ginagawa nila dyan sa top ng ating GIT cells. Ito yung mga microvilli natin. Oh, so di na maka-absorb karon kinatabunan na sa nagpatong-patong na E. coli. Ayong. Hmm. Now, the stack brick arrangement is, of course, mediated by virulence factor, which is known as the aggregative adherence fimbriae 1 or AAF1, which is a type of adhesin. No? So, halos pareho dun sa bundle forming pilay. Kaya lang, naalala ba ninyo, yung bundle forming pilay parang tali, no? It's like a cord. Attaching one bacilli to another. Whereas this one, fimbriae siya. So, di ba ang fimbriae nun, palibot yun. Kaya ay ganyan ang kanilang pag dikit-dikit. So, nag-i-enhance ng mucus secretion and biofilm formation. Okay? So, kaya mahirap i-treat. Kasi remember, nakabalot sila sa mucus. Oh, meron silang biofilm. So, hindi ito basta-basta madaling ah, maapektuhan no, ng antibiotics. Hmm. So meron din siyang toxin, no? So toxigenic din itong ating enteroaggregative. It has heat stable toxin, no? Antigenically related to the heat stable toxin of ETEC, no? At meron din siyang plasmid encoded toxin. Okay? Both of these toxins are able to induce the fluid secretion. So, ayan, pinagsama ba yung dalawa? And so, kaya ganun ka mucoidal, no, at sticky nung biofilm. Okay? So, there's watery diarrhea with no WBCs and RBCs present. Okay? Now, there is also a group of E. coli that's associated with UTI, no? Yung ating uropathogenic E. coli. So, very common in women. Anong meron sa E. coli na to? Maraming pilay, okay? O yung fimbriae niya, grabe. Okay? O, meron din siyang uh, virulence factors that would allow it to chelate iron, no? Parang may siderophore din siya. And it has cytolysins, no? Which is, of course, damaging para sa uh, cells natin, no? White blood cells. And it would inhibit phagocytosis. Ayan. So, may pilay, no? May cytolysins and other virulence factors. Okay? Mm. Now, E. coli, no, is although it's known as a colon bacillus, it's also associated with extraintestinal infections like meningitis. Okay? So, pwedeng ma-acquire ng baby habang ipinapanganak. Okay? May also be a result if na-contaminate na yung amniotic fluid. So, pwedeng magka-septicemia. Okay? And then, meron din nung mga encapsulated strains of E. coli. So, merong, ah, tawag nito, K-antigen, K1 antigen. No? That's known to be associated with neonatal meningitis and septicemia. Okay? E. coli, no, aside from meningitis, septicemia, of course, bacteremia, pwede rin namang makos ng E. coli. Pwedeng pwede. Okay? So, other Escherichia species, apart from coli, we have your Hermannii, we have Vulnerius, and Alberti. Okay? So, unsay buhaton? Siyempre, in the laboratory, alam na natin, di ba, yung basic or primary isolation media for Enterobacteriaceae is McConkey, right? McConkey and uh, EMB, no? And then in some labs, may XLD sila. So on Mac, we observe pink colonies because these are lactose fermenters. And then they have the greenish metallic sheen, no? Purple colonies with greenish metallic sheen on EMB and dry yellow colonies on XLD. Okay? So biochemical reactions, ayan, no? So indole positive, methyl red positive, Voges Proskauer negative, and citrate negative. So positive, positive, negative, negative for IMVIC series. And of course, ayan yung listahan ng ating reactions for E. coli. Okay? So note, no, your E. coli produces carbon dioxide gas as additional byproduct of carbohydrate fermentation. Kaya they are known as aerogenic. Okay? However, meron naman tayo ng anaerogenic E. coli. So, hindi sila nagpo-produce ng gas during fermentation. They are also lactose negative and non-motil. Okay? So, ito yung mga alkalescence dispar group of E. coli. Note ha? So, hindi lahat ng E. coli ay motil at gas producers. Okay? So, what else? Ayan. So, ayan. So, dahil si Sir, Katalan ang gumawa ng ating uh, learning material at that time. Okay? So, that will be the end of our part 1. Meron din tayong lecture video for part 2. Okay, guys. Study, study.